Well, how y'all are this afternoon? This is your buddy George Jones over here at the Bergen Gun Range with my next installment on, hey, I got this old used gun. I had one around here somewhere. There it is. And the old used gun I got today is this guy. The Smith & Wesson Model 10 2-inch round butt. Now this is the Model 10, I can't even see it. The Model 10 5, I think is what it says. This is basically a good old-fashioned Model 10 Smith & Wesson revolver, 5-shot, 38 special, 2-inch barrel. It's got a little bit shorter ejector rod, a little bit shorter crane on it, okay? They shortened that up to make the 2-inch barrel. It's actually 2 1/8 in barrel length. This gun basically come out in the 1960s, in the early 1960s, and it became one of the standard firearms that was on issue to agents of the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the F.B.I., starring Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. Well, anyway, the F.B.I. did not have a standard issue firearm all the way up to probably the late 1970s. They started arming F.B.I. officers about 1929, and during the era of the motorized bandits is when they became armed. And still, they didn't issue a gun. They would have firearms at the academy system that they operated at Quantico in those days, and still do there. And they would issue guidelines, and then officers, agents, had to go out and procure their own weapons. They had a caliber standard that you had to have. You could carry a 32 Smith & Wesson long. You could carry a 45 long Colt, but you had to be within the guideline. And you could carry a 4 or 6-inch revolver or 2-inch revolver, whatever was available, but they had specific guidelines for Colt, Smith & Wesson, and like that. You weren't allowed to carry the Spanish knockoffs and things like that. You actually had to have an inspectable, certifiable firearm. In the bugs this time of year, are you kidding me? In the 1970s is when, late 1970s, when they actually started looking at issuing firearms and having specific firearms for specific agents and so forth. This is one of the guns that was within that guideline, and this was a commonly used gun. They come out with this gun in the early 1960s specifically for F.B.I. use. It was one of the guns that Smith & Wesson manufactured and marketed to appeal to the F.B.I. agent. It has what we call a banana grip on it. It's like a round butt in a smaller frame gun. I've got a Model 15 Smith & Wesson that's got this grip configuration. And this grip configuration, the large frame round butt grip, or banana grip as it's referred to, is fairly rare. This gun comes from the Sailor collection. I can remember when they picked it up. They were out looking for it, wanting that, and we happened to find one at Knob Creek, and I called the guy, and they can run right down there and bought it immediately. And then, you know, I borrowed it from them to use for videos. So we're going to shoot this old gun right here and see if it makes the standard. I'm going to be using period correct in velocity 158 grain round nose lead ammunition, which is what would have been available all the way up to 1970. Type of ammunition designed for this gun, or vice versa. Load 6 in that guy. Got me some ear mufflers on. I have a B-21 police silhouette set up out here at 15 yards. And we're going to try 6 on single action and 6 on double action and see where we get with it. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that's a 10. I can see it. The sun is behind the target and I can see the bullet hole clearly. believe that's it. Yep, that's 6. They ejaculate pretty good there. And put us about 6 more in there. Try it on double action. Double action. This gun shoots pretty good for a 2-inch revolver at this range. Normally I tell people that 2-inch revolvers are kind of like 1 3/4 inch semi-automatic pistols. You know, they're typically a 7-yard gun. This is at 15. I test guns at 15 yards that typically are 7-yard guns, because if you can do pretty good with them at 15 yards, chances are you can defend yourself with it at 3. Double action. Really good, smooth, consistent double action. This gun was made about 1968 or 9. It ejaculates nicely. All right, boys and girls, let's go down there and take a look at it. Put these old ear mufflers off. This is how I get my cardio in every day, is running back and forth to the backstop, change targets. Hey. We've got them all in the 9 ring. That was 12 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 9s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 10s. And 1, 2, 3 of them are X's. That's pretty respectable shooting from a 2-inch revolver at this range. Yeah, you steady-handed, you ought to be able to defend yourself with this type of firearm at this range pretty easily. Currently, I do not believe that Smith & Wesson has this gun, this design, in its inventory. They've kind of gotten in the habit of moving away from classic revolver designs and classic revolver marketing, and moved themselves into trying to sell all kinds of little junky automatic pistols that are 40% plastic that look like something out of an iron claw machine. This is a real gun, buddy. No kidding about it. This is a fine piece of American craftsmanship. Smith & Wesson Model 10 2-inch round butt, F.B.I. special. This gun is valued somewhere around, in this condition, and the fact that it's a banana grip, which is a rare configuration for Smith & Wesson revolver, I would estimate the value of this gun, it's still in, I would say 85% condition, a perfect mechanical condition. I would estimate the value of this gun somewhere around $450 in today's market. It is a fairly rare gun and a fairly collectible and sought after gun. So if you see one of these guys for sale and the guy wants $400 for it, I'd buy it. That's just long and the short of it. All right then, that's about the size of it. Like a Tate, share a pie, commentate, and subscribe. Got old link to Patreon in the description. If you take a notion too, that'd be fine. If you don't, just keep watching my stuff. Almost to 800. When I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away a Heritage Rough Rider with 2 cylinders. All ATF rules apply, and we'll see you when we see you. Appreciate you stopping by. Bye now.